back. Predictions for tomorrow's game. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. It's Crystal Palace, blood. It's Crystal Palace. I'm just gonna let's speak positive things into existence. I'm gonna say 3-1 Arsenal, but bloody hell, man. It's a fugazi game. And with that, I think I might as well preview the game. And when I say preview, just offer my thoughts. My immediate thoughts, obviously, it's the curtain raiser. Forgive yourselves for last season. Last season is irrelevant now. We take the good, we take the bad, and we move on, but we can't go back in time. If we just look at last season or just in general, Crystal Palace home and away, in the last few years, it's been filled with frustration, with drama, with drop points, especially at home and away. Well, both really, but at home kind of pees me off a lot more. So yeah, man, we need to do a thing. If we're learning from last season, the start of the season for whatever reason weren't good enough, start the season better. We have a healthier. Definitely, the first 3 games are a bit more healthier. They took 4 points, sorry, off us last year. I think when you look at the Emirates, we dropped points from winning position, game management required. At their place, we were just shit. Much like half the away games, we were just shit. Let's just be honest. So claw it back. I saw a statistic that they haven't lost to us in a hot second. People, where is it? I think they ain't lost to us in 8 games. So what does that tell you, people? If they ain't lost to us in 8 games in all comps, they've lost once in eight comps. They've got our number. I think Crystal Palace are the perfect blend of physicality, tenacity, aggression, intensity, and technical level. Big up Vieira as well. I know with it being the start of the season, it's a time for optimism, but now it's time to focus on business, get points on the board. How long did it take us to get our first win last season? How long did it take us to score our first goals last season? Make sure that's not something we're saying this year, really and truly. Keep the preseason spirit, but remember it's time to work. We've not achieved anything. Don't think it's a thing where, because we finished 5th and we let ourselves down, that we've arrived at a certain level. Because even if we got 4th and was in the Champions League last season and there now, there'd be question marks, because we do at times have done some good things, but we're flattering to deceive. The time for optimism should be there, but now it's business. Business. Like I said, August, get to the end of the year in and amongst the top 4 places. Simple as that. The time for talking is done. Everybody's done the talking. You've done the talking. I've done the talking. The players and the coaching staff and the technical staff and they do have done the talking. Now it's done. You have to deal with the 12th man. You have to match their fight and intensity. As I said earlier, remember how it felt to miss out on top 4, because this is a game that was a bit of a microcosm as to why you failed. You went hardly done any well. How many the away grounds you need to go to? We didn't show it. So I hope we learn. The young thing isn't really an excuse. You are young and old habits die hard, and it takes forever to promote good ones. But you're old enough to watch your games again and learn certain things. You're old enough. You have the best analytical team. That a lot of footballers could ask for. Really, you lot probably got dons that watch all the games, can show you just a camera view across a game where it's just you. It's not the other 10 players. It's just you. So yeah, man, we need to move on, cut out the naiveties and all these things. For Arteta, you need to show flexibility, because you could see from the first minute against Palace, things were going wrong. Prevention is better than cure. So the players and him need to take responsibility. As I said, the time for talking's done. Sounds cliche, but it's 38 cup finals. Simple as that, man. When you look at Crystal Palace, I think they only conceded 1 goal at home it's since the start of the year. So they do, and they are on a bit of an unbeaten run. I think I could be wrong, but they're in good form. Pre-season they drew 1-1 with Accrington Stanley. They beat Millwall 5-4. They lost 2-0 to Liverpool. They beat Ipswich Town 4-2. Man United played their kids, but Man United did beat them 3-1. Gillingham lost to Palace 3-2. Leeds and Palace played a game and it was 1-1. And, obviously they beat QPR 3-0 and they warmed up for this game with a 4-2 victory against Montpellier. So, again, preseason isn't necessarily something to read into, but that ain't the strongest of clean sheets. I don't know who was playing, who wasn't playing. It's a mix and match thing, but that's a team you should be scoring against. It's as simple as that, really and truly. So, yeah, man, there's no room for error. If I had to make a prediction, optimism, 3-1, Gabriel Jesus brace, phone call FC, and one of the Halen boys. I would love it to be Saka, Smith Rowe, and Nketiah from that neck of the woods. So it'd be good for them to score there as well, people. In relation to my starting 11, it kind of picks itself. Assuming everybody's fit. If Tomiyasu and Tini are 100% fit, then they play. Probably not. So Ben White at right back, Ramsdale obviously in goals, Zinchenko official debut at left back, centre halves for me, Saliba and Gabriel. Saliba, this is going to be anything more than, because Saliba still ain't got what the Prem's about, nothing to do with him. These preseason games are not a real big test. That's the test. I ask Lokonga and Tomiyasu when they clock what the Premier League's about, and I could be wrong, but I guarantee you, Brighton away last year, That's when they deeped it. So yeah, Saliba, keep it up. You'd probably be our player of the preseason. You probably are, if it wasn't for, in my opinion, Gabriel Jesus. But Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko at left back. Midfield, you know, Xhaka, Partey, Martin Odegaard. On the right, Bukayo Saka. On the left, I'd go with Martinelli. Through the middle, Jesus. Once again, Ramsdale, Ben White, Zinchenko, Gabriel and Saliba, Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Gabby Jesus through the middle. So yeah, man, it is what it is. We need to get points on the board, really, because again, if I look at the fixture list, there's a couple of months that get peak for us, really, and we got to keep a good headspace. You know, at some point in last season, people were talking about it's a shoe-in for Arsenal. Then you had Gary Neville still belittling our chances of top four, but saying he doesn't know what's going on. Then he was singing our praises. Don't listen to the outside noise. Just keep working. When you look at the August period for us, we start with Crystal. You can't underestimate any team. Every game has its own story. You can't just look at teams and say we're winning because the Premier League's crazy. But I do think it's a favourable amount of fixtures. Well, how many games is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a favourable game of fixtures in August, bro. And then you look at September/October, it starts getting peak. September/October, I'm seeing starting it with United away, Everton at home, Brentford away, North London derby in October. After the North London derby, you've got Liverpool, you know, then you've got Leeds away. Then you play Forest, then you got Chelsea. So help yourselves, because when you take advantage, naturally, we're not going to be amazing over 38 games. We're not going to win 38 games. You know, we're not going to be unbeaten. If anyone was to do it, it would be the invincible club, innit? You know the thing. But we've been given a decent run. You can't look beyond Crystal Palace. Have that intensity, have that desire to want to start the season well, to want to have a better season, to want revenge really on Crystal Palace. Don't let that over control you. But yeah, show you're not a soft touch. Because if I'm Crystal Palace, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing everyone does. Make it difficult. 12th man on top of you, snap at their heels, you know. Couple Arsenal man will crumble, you know, really. You don't know if when Ramsdale gets the ball, is he just going to hit it into the channels for Saka? You know, you might be able to impose yourself in midfield. Not too many people show for the ball. If the central pivot players are not, then Jesus, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli are all going to drop deeper. It is what it is. You know, we kick off against Crystal Palace. The next game we have is against Leicester. Then we travel to Bournemouth away. Then we play Fulham at home, where Leno's probably going to have a man of the match display. And then we, you know, well, we play two former keepers in a row because we close August with Aston Villa. You know, I'm not going to do a points tally and things can go wrong. You have to afford for a draw and a loss or something like that. But you should be able to try to take every single point from them games. You can afford for the occasional bookie game. Things do go wrong and stuff like that. But yeah, man, we need to stand up to be counted. There's nothing more to say. What else is there to say, really? You know, we need to show up, put up or shut up now. Simple as that. That's the preview, man. I want Arteta's comments to come out. Well, how many likes are we at? 176. We're moving closer, people. We're flirting with 200. We get to 200, we start looking at transfer news. Midfield battle will be crucial. It goes without saying, win your first battles. You know, there's going to be times where evidently you're going to be up against it. You know, Zaha and Elise and all these guys are going to be causing. I would love to see Malcolm Ibowe come on. He used to play for Arsenal. All of these players, they're going to have you under the cosh. They're going to have chances. You might have to do backs against the wall defending. They're going to be galvanized. It's the first game of the season at their place. A bit like Arsenal fans being optimistic. They're going to be optimistic. You know what it is like. There's going to be times you're going to have to manage it. You know, how you start the game, the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of that first half, the first 10 minutes of the second half, the last 10 minutes of the second half. These are things that go against us. Look at Spurs. Set the tempo, react to setbacks, keep your headspace. Football is way more of a psychological game than it is technically, in my opinion. And we need to take heed of that fact. So we'll see how things develop, folks. Arsenal to the well, come on. We are not ready though. The great preseason depth in some areas is questionable. You could argue not a single team is ready for the start of the season, but it is what it is, man. These 5 games, we need at least 4 wins minimum before playing Man United. We should be getting maximum points from our first 4 games this season. DG definitely match fit and ready for the season. Happy we are back. As usual, midfield will be key to the game. If we control the game, we win. If not, we lose. There's a lot of pace in the Prem. They're strong. They're strong to harder to hold off and stop. We'll find out soon. I don't know what you're saying there, my guy. One love though. Torreira's done that here, man. Have to consider Palace had a split squad for a whole of pre-season because of non-vaccinated players couldn't travel to Singapore. I mean, respectfully, hopefully that means we're able to take advantage of that fact. And maybe some players are not as fit as others. Somebody mentioned they're losing Gallagher. Now they have signed the core, not exactly a like for like, but we hope that presence is felt, or the lack of presence is felt. I mean, Arsenal know where we need to improve. Like, so I wouldn't say this game that we're going to play tomorrow is necessarily going to reflect that. You know, we know what we're good at. We know what we're bad at. We know what we need to improve at. We know our weaknesses. We know the strengths in the squad. We know the weaknesses. Pardon me, within the squad. Zaha versus Zinchenko. Are you sweating? Is Zaha going to play on the right hand side? It is what it is, bro. You should be every week. You're playing against good wingers, isn't it? It is what it is, man. Arsenal will finish 5th with the current squad. Boy. Man, our shoulder shaking for a here we go. Exactly. Renato Sanchez. No matter some of us say, I think Arsenal's going to have a great season. I hope so, man. I don't think Pepe can do a job. He doesn't do very much when he comes off the bench. Very hot and cold. Very hot and cold. Very hot and cold player in general. I would like to see how Arteta will change tactics when rotating players, of course. Which Premier League teams are the least ready? Leicester still dragging their feet. Leicester, Everton look a bit messed. 7th place for us. Squad is still weak. The hype will fade. It always does. We haven't turned the corner. We're going around in circles. Hey, less of that. Less of that. I don't know. You can never be criticizing him. We can finish as high as 4th and as low as 8th. I always say that. Again, the one thing I need to see for me to be truly optimistic about Arsenal having a decent year is we have to be our own best friends. Why am I getting that? So we'll have to see how everything develops. One love to those of you tuned in, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, people. It's appreciative. I mean, I wonder 10 more likes and we're getting to transfer news, people. Has Arteta's press conference been released on Arsenal.com? Can't lie. Thank you for reminding me. I completely forgot about that. Oh, it's doing it. We're gonna have to circle back on that at 11:30 tomorrow because I don't think it's been. I don't like to see emerging comments. I like when it's all out and I can read it and see exactly what you're saying and all these sort of things, man. Our surprise player this season be Eddie. Trust me on that. I don't trust anyone that says trust me, but I hope so. You know, I'd love it to be him, Lokonga, anyone, man. I want everyone to have a decent season. Let's wear cars this season. Big up man like DG. I soon start my own YouTube channel. Get it popping, my guy. Morning DJ in the nation as well. I think we need to score 4 against Palace. I think this is the most confident and ready for the season we have been for the last decade. I'm not too sure on that, but I hear you. We've definitely got to be aiming for top 4 finish. Anything less than top 4 is failure, bro. Even top 4 isn't a success in itself. It's as far as Arsenal can go with this current squad. We can't challenge for the league. We all know the finances that it gets with being in the Champions League. We all know, you know, top 4 because of the finances and whatnot. It's become a trophy in itself, even though finishing 4th. And then if I'm racing and I come 4th, I don't get a bronze, silver, or gold medal. But it is what it is, really. You know, if we're not trying to get top 4, then everyone who doesn't believe in it at the football club or anyone that thinks they're not capable of fighting for that, they need to leave. They need to just hand in their P45s, get, you know, their resignations and leave. Because what are we trying to do, though? What are we trying to do then? Like, what are we doing with ourselves? I don't know, man. I hope Arsenal add another signing. I don't believe Arsenal will finish 4th or 5th. I think Arsenal will finish 1st. With the squad we have and the money we spend, I have paid in my team. I believe Arsenal will finish 1st. Done now. Arsenal winning the league, yeah? I hope so. I hope you're right, my guy. I believe you're right, man. I'll believe Torreira and Marie are gone when I see it. Crazy, man. Why does everyone think Palace is going to be a rollover for us? We basically have 85% of the same team as last year. I don't think everyone thinks it's a rollover. I just think people are getting excited with the preseason optimism and all of this. I didn't know how to react to that, bro. Arsenal winning the league. I want to be right. I hope we can do the Leicester thing, but bloody hell, there's optimism and then there's deluded, isn't it? Bloody hell, mate. I hope so, bro. I will say sorry to you if we win the league. Man, finish 5th. bro, if you can't see full through to the end, how do you think this squad is going to get first? It's not Disneyland. Like, how good are you at your worst? The problem with Arsenal is literally all or nothing last year. We had to be really good to grind out a result. There were some games where obviously we won, and there was, Watford away, it was a bit shaky defensively, but yeah, it's how good you are at your worst. It's how good you are when Saka's having an off day, when Jesus isn't there, when Odegaard's gone missing. It's how good you are then. That will define it. I know Salah and all of these guys going to get the plaudits at Liverpool and all the main ones at City, but there was times there was unlikely heroes, Fabinho, Origi even against Wolves, Jota, guys had to pull their weight. Everyone has to pull their weight. We're moving in the right direction, but it still wouldn't surprise me if we don't get 3 points at Palace. Way too optimistic, asking for a come down to earth with a bump. No balance in this fan base. Brave. Bro, man, am I allowed to do what they want in it? But bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. Man went for the jugular. Man just said with his chest, you know what? We're bringing it home. I want to be... we're moving like Liverpool. We're getting close to 30 years without winning this thing, I can't lie. We're getting very close to the Liverpool thing. So I would love to see us do the job, but boy, you don't even know what you're getting. Respectfully, our squad is very volatile. You don't know until you can answer what you're getting from 5 games, 10 games with this squad. You don't know. You don't know any player really. Obviously there's some, but boy, you don't know what we're gonna do on a match day. So how we can talk about we're finishing first, we can say I believe and all that kumbaya stuff as much as we want. Come on now. Football is beautiful, but it's also very ugly. Football don't care about that. Last year, it was ugly. You thought Arsenal was going to cheat death with no proper options in January, with no striker. Come on, man. It's not how the world works, blood. I'm looking for a friend. I'm in Uganda. Go to the pub, bro. Any Ugandans help him out. But I'm here to talk football. I'm here to be brethren. Who else do we need to smoke the top 4? Brother, we need to be... There's many things, but again, we need to be better against the top 6 sides, bro. Spurs actually beat City. You would have thought we beat City at home with all the language. Playing well doesn't mean you've won. We need to start winning these games, I don't expect us to beat Liverpool and City, truthfully, but we need to make it hard for them, really, or at least be able to throw some punches. I know we beat United, Spurs, and Chelsea last season, and they all beat us as well, but yeah, man. That's the issue, DG. When our best players aren't performing, we're crumbling. Arsenal start on top. That's something. Exactly. We are top of the league now, so he's on to something still. He's on to something. At 3 for 20, got Mandem moving crazy. But shout out to you, man. Shout out Dave, man. 4-1 Arsenal. Odegaard, man of the match. Martinelli, brace. Bring that. We've never been more ready. I hope so, bro. All I want is for the players to give 100% when they have the opportunity to play. Top 4 should be Arsenal's main priority. Take the opportunity of other teams slipping up. And I mean, top 4 is the battle of inconsistency. For the last 2 years, do you know how terrible you have to be to not get top 4? Arsenal could have been as crap as we were for all the good things, obviously, but we could have been as crap as we were last year and still got top 4. That's saying something, which goes back to my point of being our worst enemies, folks. We can be our best friends or our worst enemies. Seems definitely more ready than the start of last year. Yeah, because there's no COVID at this moment. Players are injured, but players are not that injured. But yeah, man. Martinelli and Jesus switch-ups are going to cause big problems for Joe Ward at right back. I hope so. I think we have a more solid squad and we are more confident than last year. Sometimes football cannot be explained. Arsenal can win, and as fans, we have to believe this. I mean, you can type in as many caps as you want, and I mean, Arsenal can win what? We can definitely win games. I hope we can win Europa League. I hope we can get top 4. But going back to the league title, we can do the kumbaya stuff. We can type in caps. We can say, I'm happy to believe and all these things, bro. It don't work like that. Life is not Amazon documentary, bro. You need to go out there and seize it. No one's going to give you nothing. The league isn't going to wait for us for everything to click. We need to seize it. We need to minimize our mistakes and maximize what we're good at. We need to scrutinize every resource. Until I can sit there, and I'm not pessimistic, I have as much hope. Until I think we've exhausted as much as we can to be in the best defensive and offensive side and individual players within there, bro. You can't, for me anyway, you lot can, but you can't talk about certain things or winning certain things. So let's just start with winning this game against Palace. Let's just start with having a decent September. maneuvering until the end of the season. To the end of the year, coming out at the end of the year with the World Cup in mind. Get into April, March. April, March. Get into April, May, and then just getting over the line, man. Do you think that comment's gone. Do you think our defense is now set for the season? No, because Tomiyasu comes back. There's a decision to make. If Gabriel and Saliba are playing well, by all means, they deserve their shirts. If there's injuries, loss of form, then there's people that could be involved. Really and truly. I'm still worried about the drop-off in quality from our first 11 to our bench. But I think we all are, we all know certain things. If certain players get injured, if certain players are out for a bunch of time, and I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I always think Arsenal fans, especially around Tierney and Zinchenko, Zinchenko will be there if Tierney's there. But we've seen times both right backs are out. There could be a time where both of them fullbacks are out. Both our strikers are out. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I'm just saying these are things. If you're a chef and you cut your finger, that comes with the territory. Injuries, loss of form, these things happen. How good are you at your worst? I can't answer that. So we'll have to see how that one there develops. It is what it is until now. Hopefully tomorrow is lit. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you've set your reminders on Twitch, people. 3:30.